Łazienki Park, Łazienki Park Królewski. Those names mean something to everyone in Poland. This green expanse is inseparable from the history not only of Warsaw, but of the country. It is here that leisure time is spent by families, friends, lovers, students, and sportsmen. It's a park for everyone, but it didn't start out that way. It started out as the very special province of the Lubomirski family. Later, King Poniatowski made the park his own, and it was really during the late 18th century that the greater proportion of buildings were constructed. There is the Palace on the Water, of course, a classic building of its kind, not only in Poland, but in Europe. The palace seems to float on an island in its reflecting pools. Meanwhile, the 70-odd park is a conglomeration of forest and lake and sculpted gardens, dominated on one end by the ancient Ujazdowski castle and on the other by the Belvedere Palace, the residence of the president. The park remains the greenest spot in any city in Poland, and as a park comparable to the best of those in any capital in Europe. So sit back as Poland Daily Travel takes you for a tour of the highlights of Łazienki Park in the heart of beautiful downtown Warsaw. Poland Daily Travel brings you the best and most comprehensive programming about travel in Poland that you're ever likely to find. Watch Poland Daily Travel and like us on YouTube, and if you really like us, subscribe. So let's watch A Walk in the Park with Poland Daily Travel in Łazienki Królewskie in beautiful downtown Warsaw. Hello everybody, and we're back. Peter and I just having a nice stroll through the park on a not quite a perfect day, but if you like wind, it's a perfect day. We've got this wind from the south, apparently up from Africa, which is going to change the weather, and it'll be hot tomorrow, but to now it's a bit breezy. Why are we walking particularly here, though? Because you had something you wanted to show me.
Yes, indeed. We are just going to have a look at the Polish king, which is Jan III Sobieski. And speaking openly, this is one of the most educated kings that Poland ever had. He's also able to deliver a very, very fine victory for us, the Polish people.
The Battle of Vienna.
The Battle of Vienna. How did you know? That's the question.
Because it's really famous, and all my Polish friends who who like to talk about history, they tell me about Jan Sobieski and the Battle of Vienna, and defeating the Turks and the Polish hussars.
Yeah,
riding through their camp.
Yeah, I must admit that this is one of the victories that we have achieved by far in Poland. The truth is that this is one of the first moments that we had coffee brought to Poland. Let's say this is one of the little exotic details that not a lot of people know about. I would like us to take a look at the statue of John III.
Let's walk over there. Let this truck go by, because we're out here. You got bicycles, you got trucks, so you got students, everybody's here talking about various things.
A very popular spot, one of the most popular because of the view that we are also having at the back.
Well, we're gonna get to that. There's a lot of kids here having a
regular excursion.
Having a day out.
Which, this is the right thing to be happening in this time of the year.
They all come to here to see Jan Sobieski, don't they?
Absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
Let's look at this. This is an interesting monument. And they've got him here. He's looking very dynamic, isn't he?
Yes, yes. It is looking dynamic, and I would like you to pay attention to a couple of details. Details which will be very significant, and they would betray a certain conflict, conflict of two great powers, which in this particular moment we speak, as you said, about Vienna being taken under siege by the Turks, which means that the Christians would fight the Muslims.
Right.
And this is a pattern that will be very, very visible in all the pieces of art coming from the 18th century, that the Christian Lord would be a bit glorified, like we have here, and the Muslim will be
Is that a Muslim under his horse?
I'm afraid so. Yeah, this is a
Good
Muslim.
Lord.
And then couple of details. So please
Yeah.
notice the Christian Lord will be presented pretty much almost like Hercules, like the unbeaten hero that has achieved great victory. He's, after all, sitting.
He's got big
not
arms and
He's
very stout.
looking
yeah.
like a Roman soldier.
He
That's
does,
one
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Secondly, he's sitting on a lion's skin instead of a saddle.
Ah, it's a lion skin.
It's
is
a
it?
lion skin. This
Okay.
is something. The lion skin is very characteristic for Hercules.
Right,
Right.
okay.
After all, this is something from his story.
Yeah.
Then another thing. He's going to have thick facial hair, thick mustache. Every Christian at the 18th century, the prestigious one, would have
18th or 17th?
18th century, 1700s.
Oh, that's when this was made.
Exactly.
But the battle was 100 years before and more. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I
Yeah.
can confirm that pretty much both of the centuries is something that you may have the facial hair presented as a trend. Then, in comparison, the Christian Lord is looking very majesticus. The Muslim is presented almost naked. It's you can almost pretty much see the jewels if it's not for the piece of cloth. Of course, he's being knocked down to the ground, and it's not a very, very good situation for him. It's supposed to expose that Jan III Sobieski is a person that is a king, as a great leader, leading the war. He is also the one to achieve success.
Wow.
Jan III Sobieski knocking the Muslim a
Jan Sobieski in Polish, right?
I'm sorry,
Jan, right?
III Sobieski.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
This is was one of the most well-known Polish kings, and as I mentioned, the Vienna victory is supposed to be presented with this very monument.
Yeah, over the Turks at the Battle of Vienna in 1683.
Absolutely.
Is that right?
Yes, yes, correct.
I remembered it. Finally, I remembered something. It's Poland Daily. Stay with us. We'll be back after this short break. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Poland Daily. We are standing on the longest bridge in Poland. The question is, it's not really the longest bridge, but it's a joke. What's the joke?
The joke is that we are going to have the Jan III Sobieski, the very gentleman that we were filming a moment ago. He would enter the bridge hundreds of years ago, and by far he would only reach
The middle.
half of its length.
Yeah, half of its length. I like how you say that. Half of its length. In the middle. He's in the middle. Stuck in the middle with you, he could say to us. Behind us is something worth talking about. This is one of the most interesting small palaces in the whole of Europe. And it won't surprise you to know that it's called the Palace on the Water, because as you can see, it seems to be floating on the water. We're going to go there a little closer, but maybe we should give the people a little intro to the palace there, Peter. What do you think?
The palace on the water, as you stated, Will, this is the original name. It is, you may say, the pearl of this city's architecture. It's a building that has not been damaged during the war, a building that still remembers the presence of the king. By the way, it has been designed by the very king's requests. Besides all of that, it's a place which is put and installed on the water, so you have a very nice lake at the back and in the one in the front. To addition to all of that, the whole area surrounding the palace, the park, it's not just a place where you walk your dog off, it's one of the most prestigious locations. And so, to addition to all of that, the landscape, the architecture, this is fantastic. This is something that I would like to say a little bit more once we'll be on the spot.
Okay, so the Palace on the Water, you said that the building was not destroyed during the war, but in fact there was a plan to destroy it, wasn't there? Didn't they drill holes in the wall and they were going to put dynamite in it to blow it up like they did at the Royal Castle?
Yes, Will.
And why did they not get to that? Do you know? Because I don't know.
Yes, so The story is as you're presenting it. So the Nazi ones, at the beginning, they are coming here and they are trying to use it.
Is that your phone?
Yes, yes. I was
Just answer and tell them you're on television.
Yeah. So
Hello, I'm on TV.
and then we are going to have the Nazi ones. They've used it, but
Yeah.
then the Russians in the 1942 they are coming to the edge of the city of Warsaw. Once this is happening, this very place is no longer safe for the Nazi to use.
Okay.
This is why it has survived. In terms of all the
They
details,
didn't have time to blow it up.
exactly.
And probably they left it last because, in fact, during the war, if my memory is correct, no Poles were allowed in the park. It was a province only of
Yeah.
the Germans, and
Absolutely.
they controlled all the fine buildings that we're going to see. So stay with us, Poland Daily. We're going to the palace on the water, and all is good on a very beautiful day. Poland Daily. Hey, if you like us on YouTube, and subscribe if you're one of those subscription addicts. Peter is. So am I.
Stay with us.